Brian Lara's innings of 120 runs against India in the second test at Gros Islet in June 2006 was a true display of resilience and leadership. After being dismissed for just 7 in the first innings, Brian Lara redeemed himself with a determined knock in the second innings, facing a massive Indian total of 588 for 8 declared. His 120 runs came off 307 balls in 377 minutes, including just 10 boundaries, a clear departure from his usual flamboyant style. This was not a typical Brian Lara innings filled with flair, but a cautious, patient effort aimed at saving the match. It was his second test century against India and one of his slowest innings for a score over 50, showcasing immense discipline and temperament. He skillfully defended, resisted temptation, and batted through pressure to ensure West Indies avoided defeat. Thanks to his grit and support from Chanderpaul, the West Indies finished on 293 for 7, securing a hard-fought draw. Brian Lara knock stood out not on for its style, but it's for substance, a captain standing tall with his team needed him most. So let's watch extended highlights of Brian Lara innings.
The West Indies captain Brian Lara has arrived at the crease, probably having to put his pads on pretty quickly because 2 consecutive ball dismissals for the West Indies top order. Fantastic record for Brian Lara. Patel on a hat-trick. Outside off. Going hard and getting it through. Favourite area.
The gap found. That's really so good, Lara. Eases the ball between mid-off and extra cover. They'll come back for a third. Tumble by Mohammed Kaif gave the batsman the opportunity. Game there in leg before, Lara goes. Well, the West Indies have lost their third wicket. Anil Kumble strikes very quickly, and the West Indies really up against it here. Smiles on the faces of the Indians. Glumness all around the Bosijor Stadium. And he isn't happy, Brian Lara, as he goes off.
And India couldn't be happier if they wrote the script themselves. This ball pitches just inside the line of off stump and straightens. Only question is whether or not it was high enough or rather low enough to hit the stumps, the bounce. But pitched in line. Brian Lara, he's gone for 7. It's 55 for 3.
Only strike for India, but Brian Lara, the champion batsman, comes in. Well, he's showing the opposition that he can lead by example. Here he is, under difficult circumstance, batting at number 3. Normally see Sarwan batting at number 3. Bit of trouble. He's taking the challenge of Brian Lara to get some runs up front, but very fortunate to get off the mark. Good delivery from Pathan.
Well, what happened here? All over the place, the footwork playing away from his body there, inside edge. Oh, and that's just missed the off stump. That's a position where you don't often see Brian Lara to be, so far across.
Good stop. This was much better timing from Lara. Varinder Sehwag has decided to come in at number 3, which I think is good. 61 innings there. Look at that average. Just under 60. He's had the best average batting at number 3.
Mind you, 51 is not bad at number 4 either. But I've just been told it's been 19 innings, second innings. He hasn't made a 50. He really has struggled. He has got 7 centuries batting in the second innings, but of late, that's the important point, of his form recently of late is a concern. There it is there, first innings 64, second innings 37.83.
They're these kind of players, Lara, Tendulkar, Ponting. Once they get off to a start, they start to middle the ball. Could be problems for the bowling side. Good start to the over, 4 dot deliveries.
I suppose not too many West Indians, Tony, and you are in the best position to comment on batsmen between the ages of 35 to 40. Not that Lara is anywhere near 40, he's about 37. But batting, I would suspect, in the main gets more difficult with age. Talking to Jeffrey Dujon during one of the breaks in play, we talked about Clive Lloyd, who averaged almost 60 between age 35 and 40. Desmond Haynes averaged in the middle 40s between age 35 to 38 when he retired. Lara has to work a lot harder for his runs, naturally.
It's a good stroke. The more he bats, the longer Lara bats, the less movement he tends to make. You can see there, as the ball moves though, the pads are in line. Woohoo! Got to be a wide, surely, or is it a no ball? No ball for height.
Suddenly lost control. Will be considered a beamer. If he does it again, he can't bowl in the innings anymore. And I think it's a good call. It's a good call. Indication from Simon Toffel, the square leg umpire.
Got his pad in line and was adjudged leg before. That first delivery, made sure he played it with his bat. The first innings, the bat had no chance of getting to the ball. The pad right in the line. Adjudged leg before. And that's well hit. Full toss, and a full toss to someone of Brian Lara's class is going to get hit for 4. Had all the time in the world to pick his gap.
Comes it sometimes goes, the rain.
Slips, and India on the offensive. Run straight away to Lara. There'll be runs there, at least 2. Good positive stride to the ball there and open the blade up. He's one of the rare batsmen, modern day players, who not only can quickly get onto the back foot but also, Brian Lara can quickly get onto the front foot. A lot of modern day players are front foot players.
Yeah.
Just like that. Quick single for a run out here. Makes it easy. Just thought there might have been a fumble in the hand.
Oh, yeah.
Be one there.
Oh!
That's worth a shout as well. We've got some wise heads as well to replace us. Tony Kozier and Jeffrey Dujon.
Thank you, Dean Jones, and here's the replay of that previous delivery. Just got a nick onto it. Not dissimilar to the way he got it in the first innings, Lara, to Cumley. And they'll pick up a single here.
No one in that point area. Just a short backward point. So he'll be trying to encourage Brian Lara to play the ball square, to try and cut, or as he did in Antigua, to reach for that drive.
Comfortable 2. All that space on the leg side.
Was on the same line, but Lara just closing the face of the bat on it. Didn't look too much in control.
West Indies were in almost identical statistical position as they are now in the first innings. They were 55 for 3 in the first innings, 52 for 3 when they...
He'll get runs here. Just the 2.
But the minimum for them is 116. They had 18 overs on the 17.3 on the third day, and they've come back today. 98 available to India today, or available to them to save it, whichever way you want to look at it. They struggle to get that number of overs throughout the series. In fact, there's a leg by signaled. Ends the over, 60 for 3. That's a typical Lara shot, finding the gap between mid-off and extra cover for 4. Lovely flowing drive.
Hasn't looked in particularly good touch in this series, Brian Lara. A long stint at the wicket should do him a world of good. It's really the first delivery that he's timed this morning.
End of the over, 64 for 3.
Yeah.
I think to hurry, stretch right out, Chanderpaul to the right of Yuvraj. So that was the judgment of Lara, that he's a left-hander, so had to pick up with his right hand, transfer it, and just getting home at full stretch.
Yeah.
And it's good to see these kinds of runs being taken, because even though it's a mammoth total to chase, and overhauling it is not that important, the batsmen have to be positive. They have to.
Not exactly off the middle of the bat from Lara. Just a stifled shout of catch. Gets 2 runs for it.
It's a genuine outside edge. He's looking to hit it square, but with more of the bat than that.
We've got the leading run scorer in Test cricket against the bowler with number 4 on the all-time list of wicket takers. Tremendous contest between 2 of the outstanding players of the contemporary game of all time, really. And that's gone through. Won't reach all the way. Throw back to the bowler. Good strong throw, which you haven't seen much of in this Test match so far from the boundary.
Vikram Singh, not the greatest athlete in the world.
Just squeeze through along the ground. Just complete the second run.
All that does is undo the matter of survival. But what I think positive can mean, it's just pitching outside, so hitting well outside the off stump and playing a stroke. So that's not an issue really for an umpire. Putting the bat alongside the pad. Kumble very keen on getting wide, isn't he? Very wide. Yeah. Umpire has to make his mind up whether that's a stroke or not. Pretty tough to give that anyway. That's not a bad stroke from that area. But just to go on to that positive thing before the over is complete, it's really a matter, I think, of working very hard to try and score off the good deliveries. The deliveries and the lengths that Kumble wants to bowl. We heard him talking a lot about bounce.
It's obviously gone on a straighter line to Lara now, Irfan Pathan. India would have wanted continuous play throughout yesterday's play. Yesterday there was no play at all possible, and that would have been a source of disappointment for the Indians, not so for the West Indians. Straighter line, and as he got outside the line of off stump, and he's certainly bowling a lot straighter in this over.
Well, let's just see where it hits him. That's the first point. It's outside off. And I think that that's the way Lara plays. Again, it comes back to Lara making it very clear to the umpire he was wanting to play a stroke.
Well, what's happened there? Inside edge through the legs of Dhoni, or around that vicinity anyway.
And we've spoken about this. As soon as the bat gets too horizontal, you're depending on the bounce. And that pass perilously close to the stumps. Got to try to hit the bat with as much of the surface.
Nice little glide down to third man. The skipper does a bit of fielding there, Rahul Dravid. And they'll get 3. That brings the 100 up for the West Indies in the second innings. Again misses those stumps. Oh, you got to have a bit of luck here and there, but he's using most of it.
That's 50 for Brian Lara. Bit streaky way to get there, but it's 50 nevertheless. And we thought that Kumble would give him this delivery again, and it's got exactly the same result.
End of the over, 114 for 3.
Interesting, Lara tends to try and get well forward, whereas Chanderpaul is standing up. Lara gets the gloves therefore a lot lower.
Yeah.
Now he's cut that away well. Still hasn't reached the boundary. Normally you would find that Lara would get to the boundary with that shot. He's got 2 for it.
The interesting thing is when you get a spinner that is pitching and getting the ball to turn that way to Lara, if you've got no man on the offside, you really want to have the bat, whereas we don't there's no man in there close on the offside. You want to have the bat behind the pad. We'll talk about that after the over and perhaps when Lara's facing Sehwag again. 122 for 3.
Oh!
This one is a little shorter. That's why one of the pitches and turns, it gets the edge. Lara plays that quite nicely. Perhaps just a little lucky. See, he's losing his balance a wee bit when it gets into leg stump there. You need the odd slice of luck on a pitch like this as a batsman to bat for a long time. That's why, of course, when you lose a wicket, you can lose 2 or 3 quite quickly. Now you can see the bat tucked in behind the pad there. And I think if the ball pitches and then moves away to the slips, you want to have the bat behind there. That one, the slight angle is a problem for me though. I'd like to see them the same angle of the pad and the bat. Otherwise what happens, it pitches, it'll sometimes brush the front pad and then go onto the bat. That one didn't brush the pad.
Well, he's got that through. Lara eased it through the covers and gets a boundary for it. Not a difficult boundary for Lara. Vikram just over pitching.
Well, he has come round the wicket, and I'm pleased, as I say, to see him doing that. I think he gets a better chance of dismissal, but you've got to get the length right, of course. You can see round the wicket now, just too full. If he can still get the ball to just move away from Lara, which is what he was doing from the other side of the crease, then LBW and the catch behind still is in play.
Ends the over. Lara keeps the strike. 130 for 3. Anil Kumble to Lara.
Pushing. Now, we'll see.
More runs. Outfield is slowed down because of the rain. Lara picks up 2 more.
Stop that single around the corner.
Much quicker through the air. Anil Kumble. Getting very close to the foot marks, getting a little bit of extra bounce. Sloppy. It's got Brian Lara off strike now.
Dive too early. Cave.
Was a noise. Thought it was the pad.
Well, did he get a bat on this? Let's have a look. No, it might have come off the thigh pad.
It did get a long way across. You can see the Midland leg stump. Impact was around Midland leg. No way that can be given.
No chance for an LBW bowling that wide of the crease. That's what he's doing, Brian Lara. He's well aware of the laws of the game. Gets his pads outside the line. Look how wide he's bowling it. And how can any umpire give that out? Well, you can't.
In 2 minds, their initial reaction was to go for the sweep shot or the slog sweep, and then changed his mind, Brian Lara. Straightforward, was it doing too much?
Big stride in, getting forward, hits him in line. Hits him in line. And he's shaking his head, I didn't hit it. We know that. Hit your pad first.
The flipper, but that to me was a very close call. It's the stride that's saving them. It's a long stride out, pitched him in line, hits him in line. The long stride creating that element of doubt, but it's not bouncing too much this pitch here. I think it will clip the base.
As we say good afternoon to Jeremy Coney.
Hello, Jeffrey. Well, that was in the air. To me, that shows the danger of trying to drive out of a rough area.
Just a bit of turn, just enough to get that outside edge. Would have been a very good catch, it's very sharp. See that Brian Lara has been very positive, very strategic in the way he's gone about counteracting the Indian bowlers.
Oh!
It's going to be pressure until the very last ball of this innings. Will he be up to it? The rest of the West Indian batting has proven itself to be quite fragile.
Just a loose little period of play that often happens when you're re-establishing yourself. It's the tumbling kind of leg break with the scrambled seam. Lara doesn't really look to play that off the back foot nice and straight. It was a cut stroke he was after. Always difficult with the angle being closed with a leg spinner.
That's it!
Not sure if there was any bat in that. And there was. Just a bit of an inside edge. And very catchable.
Well, it was certainly a back pad. And that's the other way of playing the ball, to play it through the legs and round that whole area, but deliberately play the ball. But here is the one. This is a chance because Yuvraj is on his heels. He's not looking to come forward, and he's short. You see, it takes him a while to change his balance to go forward.
And that's a typical Lara stroke. And an excellent piece of fielding. He'd still have gone for 4. Was he in contact with the boundary when he made contact with the ball? From this angle we can't see if his foot was.
On!
Now, did that come from pad? What's Asad Ralph going to say here? He's taken a very long time over it, and he's just finally signalled it leg buys. But there were lots of glove around that area as well, and a cry of catch.
All of the first 2 wickets this morning. And that's well struck again from Brian Lara. Over pitch delivery, and it got the treatment.
Lara saw the length here. The initial press forward and then the rearrangement getting further forward to allow him to get into a good drive in a favourite area. Length really important. The interesting thing also about length, now let's just look at Kumble when he bowls over the wicket. You can see there all the deliveries are hitting the stumps. He's landing on the good part of the pitch.
And that's Brian Lara at his best. He's very strong through that area. Gives it a full swing of the bat. And that's well struck. Beautifully timed. He won't get 4 for it. Outfield is a little bit heavy with all the rain that we've been having.
Well, a part-timer is going to overpitch occasionally, and probably can't bowl long spells either. Kumble can, he's used to it. Sehwag can't so much. You can see those areas on there, the left arm over, that's been created.
That's a better delivery. Force Brian Lara to reach for it. It's the end of the over. It's 181 for 3.
And Lara's got it through. We'll come for a second here. So now it's Lara with the youngsters with whom he plays for Trinidad and Tobago, Bravo and Ramdin, the keeper, to come next. Then the bowlers. So a big responsibility on Lara, but also on Bravo and Ramdin. Now, there'll be a number of leg before appeals today. Ends the over from Sehwag, 189 for 4, 71 over is gone.
Three slips, a gully, and a short backward point. And that's offline. It's played nicely through mid-wicket. You get 4 for this. Brian Lara goes on to 96.
The captain leading from the front. Just his 8th boundary in a long stay of 322 minutes. Beautifully balanced at the time of executing the shot. Also the bottom hand coming into play. In the slow outfield, the ball races away to the fence.
It's a good delivery. More on the line that he would have wanted to start it, Munaf Patel. And treated with the requisite respect. Brian Lara on the brink of his 32nd century in Test cricket. Only his second against India. Would you believe it? And this could go all the way. Will he pull it in? They've taken 2 and they'll settle for that. He'll get 1, he'll push for a second. Sides against it. Return from Vikram Singh, not a good one, could possibly have got there. He's left on 99. And there's number 32. Brian Lara goes to 100. Batted for this one. He's batted, concentrated. He's worked very hard for it. His 32nd 100 in Test cricket.
Magnificent knock under the circumstances. But he's not celebrated a great deal. He knows he's got to carry on.
His legs. They'll get 1. A piece of fielding by Patan on the boundary and a good throw. 2 more to Lara.
He's trying something different, Munaf Patel, going wide of the crease. Staying in line. They've got to have a plan, India. They cannot have Lara on strike most of the time and score runs freely.
That's where he's strong. That's where he likes it. That was 4 runs from the minute it left the bat.
They have to stand up and take a bow. Majestic shot. This is the normal Lara. A treat to watch.
Might go to the boundary, might just stop inside. Beautifully weighted. I'll get 3. I just remember back to the last Test match on the last session, India needed 7 wickets. They only got 6 in the last session. So I think there's a few twists in this game yet. Look how far he's batting down the crease. Amazing.
Get a wicket. One would think that those overs will be complete before the 5 o'clock time. Lara pulls away now as Singh drops short. Come back for a third.
India won't mind Lara playing shots. He just fiddled that one around and come so slow off the pitch. Even though he's batting good 2 to 3 feet out of his crease, he's still... working hard here, Vikram Singh. I still think his best option of getting Lara out is trying to entice Lara to drive a ball on the up. And hopefully this second new ball get a bit of bounce, maybe seam away for that very wide bat of Brian Lara at the moment. Now he's into his 7th hour in this innings. Brian Lara's batted for 367 minutes.
Didn't quite time that. Ends the over. 343 for 4.
And Bravo's received criticism for playing across the line of the ball, trying to hit against a spin into the leg side in the past, and it's just criticism as well. But notice, folks, notice that today he's very rarely done it. He's restrained himself beautifully. I think it was good for him in this pressure situation to be batting with Brian Lara, who's spoken about how well Lara has batted, but Bravo's part in this, with only Ramdin to come, Bradshaw up to this point, it's a very important innings as well.
Well, it's full enough to work across this time. He stopped by Patel. Out appeal.
There was an appeal like this in the last over. Brian Lara is laughing. I reckon he thinks he might have gotten outside the line. Let's have a look to see. Oh, it's a lot closer this, and depending on your perspective, he's just struck on the line. Just a little part of the ball is in line with off stump. 252 for 4.
He got Lara's big innings is over. LBW Sehwag.
Now there's going to be a question here. Where has he struck again? We've seen some very close appeals. Has he struck in line with the stumps, or is he struck outside the line of off stump? Let's have a look. Struck outside the line of off stump. Struck outside the line of off stump. Even further away than the previous appeal. And that could be classed as unfortunate. So wonderful innings. 120 for 307 balls. It's 252 for...
Brian Lara inning of 120 runs against India in the second test at Gros Islet, St. Lucia in June 2006 was a brilliant exhibition of patience, leadership and mental toughness, coming in at a crisis point with West Indies at 2 for 1. Brian Lara had the burden of leading his team out of trouble. As captain and senior batsman, he rose to the occasions with a composed knob that was less about flair and more about survival. Facing a strong Indian bowling attack featuring Anil Kumble, Munaf Patel and Irfan Pathan, Brian Lara showcased remarkable control. He played each delivery on its merit and used clever footwork against the spinners and timed the ball well off the seamers. His shot selection was disciplined and he resisted the temptation to play extravagant strokes. Instead, he focused on building partnership, especially a valuable 129-run stand with Shivnarine Chanderpaul, which was key in the saving the match. This was one of the Brian Lara's slowest centuries, but it was one of his most meaningful. He anchored the innings with majority, putting team needs above personal flair. The West Indies, thanks to his calm presence, managed to end the match, securing a draw after being under immense pressure. Brian Lara's century at Gros Islet was not just a number on the scoreboard. It was a statement. At the age of 36, he showcased that true greatness lies in the adaptability and resolve. This innings proved that even the most elegant stroke makers can dig deep when needed, and in doing so, Brian Lara once again etched his name among the greatest to ever play the game. If you like this video, please comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.